morning. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Ann Kiguta and welcome to KTN Sunday Night. Tonight, our weekly political series, Checkpoint, will not be airing. We're making way for the Inside Story with KTN's John Alanamu. Do stick around for that. Let me take you straight to our top stories tonight.
We have known the driver. His name is Steve Sola Mutia.
Owner of City to City bus finally surrenders. Yet another blow for Bensouda. 2 more witnesses withdraw from Ruto's case.
Kwa hivyo sasa si wakati urahisi kuzuru nchi yote kila mahali kwenda tunapeana hati ya kumiliki ardhi. Hiyo sio kazi ya rais. Hiyo ni kazi ya mtu mwingine. Ni kama kazi ya ukarani.
Kama hiyo kazi ya karani ndio itapatia mwananchi title, sisi tutafanya hiyo kazi ya karani.
And wooing the voters, Ruto charms Western Kenya's Raila slams the government over title deeds. The return of the Inside Story, revelations on the murder of controversial cleric Abu Drogo on KTN's investigative series. Welcome to the program. The owner of the City to City bus in the Nkulele accident that killed 42 people has finally surrendered to the police. The man is assisting with investigations at the Muthaiga police station. And as Betty Kyalo reports, the search continues for the driver of the ill-fated bus.
3 days after the unfortunate death of 42 people on the Narok-Nakuru highway in a dawn accident, the owner of the City to City bus services today made his way to the Muthaiga police station where he was grilled over the operations of his bus company, key among them that the ill-fated bus did not have a certificate from the Transport Licensing Board. Sheikh Mohammed Noor, who was in the company of his lawyer, was held at the station for the better part of the day.
On speaking with the commandant, Mr. Kimaru, he has told me that he will not, and I repeat, he will not release the director, Mr. Noor, until he produces the driver of the bus, KBN 138F, the ill-fated bus. The questions that then come about is, how is he expected to produce the driver if the driver has decided to abscond? The driver is a human being. He's afraid of consequences. The only thing that the owner can say and the director is that the man presents himself.
According to the lawyer, 3 of the City to City buses have been detained by police. However, no charge sheet has been availed to the drivers.
It has been alleged that they do not have TLB licenses. They do have the TLB license. We can prove that. That the cars are not roadworthy. The cars are roadworthy until this accident, when the police now at the inspection unit declare on the 30th they're unroadworthy. Yet we have valid permits for a whole year, including that date, to show that these cars are roadworthy. They have been arrested, but no charges have been preferred to them.
Here we have 4 buses, and all of them are unroadworthy. They have tampered with their speed governors, and they are very dangerous for use by the public.
Families of the deceased have been on course making burial arrangements for their relatives, with many of them having ferried the bodies to their rural homes.
We sincerely sorry about what has happened. What has happened was not intentional. It was an accident.
The accident that elicited sharp reactions from various quarters had the Law Society of Kenya threaten to eject Traffic Commandant Samuel Kimaru out of office, accusing him of negligence and ineffectiveness in arresting road carnage. However, today Kimaru responded, saying he is ready to battle LSK's move. So far, 2,152 people have died in road carnage, with the number of accidents registering at more than 1,600. Betty Kyalo, KTN Sunday Night.
The office of the prosecutor at the International Criminal Court is yet again on the spot. Now, two key witnesses in the case against Deputy President William Ruto and radio presenter Joshua Sang have withdrawn from the case. And as KTN's Asha Mwilu now reports, this leaves the prosecutor in a tight corner, with the trial set to begin in the next 9 days.
It's the latest blow to have dealt ICC prosecutor Fatou Bensouda. Just a week before Deputy President William Ruto's trial begins, the office of the prosecutor has lost another two key witnesses. The two witnesses, through sworn affidavits, have retracted their testimonies and written statements on the case. Their legal counsel, Christopher Mutei, confirms that the two wrote to the prosecutor informing that they will not participate in Ruto and Joshua Sang's trial. They join a string of prosecution witnesses to have pulled out of the ICC process. In the cases against Ruto and Sang, a total 4 witnesses have pulled out so far, leaving the prosecutor with some 40 other witnesses to pick from. Experts, however, say the prosecutor's biggest headache will be in the case against President Uhuru Kenyatta. Originally, 30 witnesses had been identified by the prosecutor in Uhuru's case. Only 12, however, were lined up as key witnesses. Since April this year, a total of 7 witnesses have pulled out of President Uhuru's case. With Ruto and Sang's case beginning in the next 9 days, the radio presenter held a prayer rally in Eldoret town ahead of the trial.
Nina imani ya kwamba hao wote wataendelea kutoka kwa sababu hata wao kufikiria mambo haya yatafika hapa.
The country is, however, on edge over the period that the deputy president will be absent while he attends his trial at The Hague.
It is true that it's still an awkward situation to be in, that you are the president and the deputy being outside the country for some other purposes other than running the state.
For the time being, he and the other accused are requested to be present when there are hearings, but they will not be in detention. There are no arrest warrants against them. They continue to be free, and there is no restriction for on their freedom.
On Friday, a status conference will be convened to set the trial schedule for the president. It is still unclear whether the two cases will be heard simultaneously at any given time, leaving the country without its top leadership. Nonetheless, in the absentia of both the president and his deputy, the constitution stipulates that the Speaker of the National Assembly would assume the country's leadership. Asha Mwilu, KTN Sunday Night.
The government has dismissed criticism by court leader Raila Odinga over the issuance of title deeds at the coast. Deputy President William Ruto says the government is keen to address the land problem at the coast. Ruto and Raila differed over who between the president and the Land Commission should disperse title deeds, as former Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi launched an attack against Raila, terming him a permanent complainer.
The government's move to issue 60,000 title deeds to coastal residents has opened a new political battlefront. Court leader Raila Odinga is accusing the government of playing politics with land ownership.
Wapewe ni haki yao. Si ati unampatia yeye ili mara yake ingine kifika akupige wewe kura.
Wewe wakwata. But the government says the move to issue title deeds to residents at the coast, where land remains an emotive issue, was long overdue.
Sasa yao walipoteza miaka 5 kwa udosi kwa sababu hawataki kufanya kazi ya karani. Ama hiyo serikali yao haikuwa na makarani, ndio title ikakwama huko Nairobi.
Raila argues that the issuance of title deeds is the duty of the National Land Commission.
Ati kazi ya ardhi sasa tumeweka chini ya halmashauri inaitwa National Land Commission. Tulitoa kwa mkono ya rais.
Sisi hatuna shida. Kama hiyo kazi ya karani ndio itapatia mwananchi title, sisi tutafanya hiyo kazi ya karani. We have no problem.
The deputy president, who was in Kakamega for the homecoming ceremony of the Malava constituency member of parliament Malulu Injendi, and his Navakolo counterpart Emmanuel Wangwe, dismissed calls for a referendum, saying the quest by governors to increase allocation of funds to the counties does not warrant a referendum.
Mnaenda kusumbua raia ya nini na referendum? Pesa tumewapatia. Na mkitaka ifike 40%, hatuna haja ya referendum, tutaweka 40%.
But speaking at the Liavu Catholic Church in Kwanza constituency in Trans Nzoia, Raila said the referendum push is still on.
Suluhisho ni kuweka kwa sheria ili hata mtu mwingine akija nyuma ya huyu hawezi kubadilisha.
The homecoming ceremony saw Ruto and former Deputy Prime Minister Musalia Mudavadi share a podium. Mudavadi lashed out at Raila, accusing him of putting the country in constant politicking mode at the expense of national development.
Hakuna haja ya kila siku kuwa tunagombana, tunakuwa na siasa mingi. Siasa kweli iko, lakini can you remain a permanent complainant?
It was the first time that Mudavadi was delving into the referendum debate and directly attacking one of his opponents at the ballot in the March polls. Rita Tinina, KTN.
Interior Secretary Joseph Olelenku has vowed to restore peace in Moyale at all costs. He was speaking on his arrival from the Seychelles, where he attended the Eastern Africa Police Chiefs meeting. Olelenku says the government will now step up peace efforts.
We are interested in peace and will bring peace to Moyale. It does not matter who get hurt in the process.
Talking tough, Interior Security Secretary Joseph Olelenku declares that the national government is stepping in to restore peace in Moyale. This follows recent tragic intertribal clashes that have resulted in the deaths of at least 10 people in the last 2 weeks. His ministry has convened a meeting with leaders from Marsabit County tomorrow to communicate the national government's plan of action.
There is a lot of information coming from our CID, and that investigating arm of government is fully on the ground. My word is that you will see a very, very heavy arm of government in that area that will not spare even the politician concerned.
The clashes between the Borana and Gabra communities have been persistent, with fresh attacks occurring in the past weeks, seeing over 10 people killed, scores injured, and many more displaced. Inspector General David Kimayo has also directed the DCI to hasten investigation on the website known as Gare Online for allegedly instigating the skirmishes. The website allegedly calls for the cessation of parts of northeastern Kenya. Sharon Momanyi, KTN Sunday Live.
KTN Sunday Night takes a short break, but just ahead, why was he killed? New information on the murder of controversial cleric Abu Drogo on The Inside Story. And welcome back. In other news tonight, robbers make away with over 300,000 shillings from Barclays Bank in Kawangware, and a man in Muranga is reunited with his family after escaping a week-long kidnap ordeal. Charity Kimani has the details.
Sugarcane farmers in Transmara are asking the Kenya Roads Board and Narok County government to repair all damaged roads in the county. The farmers say the poor roads are hampering transportation of their produce. Transmara Sugar Company has since requested for a contract with the county government to repair the roads. A man is finally home with his family after he escaped from kidnappers. According to the man, he was kidnapped by an armed gang on Thursday evening at a petrol station owned by his family in Kirinyaga. After freeing himself, he led Criminal Intelligence Department officers and the area district officer Edward Lelgo to the hideout. There were no arrests as the gangsters had escaped. Gangsters last night broke into Barclays Bank Kawangware branch and made away with over 300,000 shillings. The police arrested 2 suspects. Security agents are currently looking at CCTV footage for further leads into this crime. In Taita Taveta County, KWS officers have arrested 6 poachers in Voi. KWS Assistant Director Robert O'Brien said in the last 2 months, their rangers have arrested over 73 poachers. The Assistant Director attributed the rise in poaching to poverty in the area. And public primary school head teachers are currently meeting in Mombasa for a week-long conference, which begins on Monday. The agenda is the implementation of Jubilee's flagship laptop project in all public primary schools.
All right, it's time for another short break. I've got the sports news lined up for you next, and then John Allen Namu joins us with the inside story. Don't go away. And welcome to the sports. Kenya Commercial Bank hammered Impala 26-5 to win the Prinsloo Sevens and stay close to winning the National Sevens Circuit title in an entertaining match at the Nakuru Athletic Club. Jack Oj touched down for the Bankers twice, while Benjamin Ojema and Darwin Mukiza each touched once, with Fabian Orlando making 2 conversions. The only consolation try for Impala was scored by Robert Aringo. In the semi-finals, the Bankers smashed Strathmore Leos 22-5 after a 14-5 halftime lead, with Amonde, Orlando and Stafford Obera making 3 tries, while Orlando and Amonde made 3 conversions. Impala defeated Homeboys 24-19 in the other semi-final match. Strathmore Leos beat Homeboys 26-19 to emerge playoff winners. Hosts Menengai Oil Nakuru RFC scooped the plate title. That's after thrashing the National Sevens Circuit defending champions Kenya Harlequins 31-7. Now, Kenya is a household name on the tracks thanks to the exploits of our athletes. However, while the athletes continue to raise the profile of the country by winning medals, there are the unsung heroes whose work is to prepare these athletes before they line up for the major championships. Victor Ogale spoke to one of the team's physiotherapists while he was preparing the athletes in Russia.
It is mandatory for every sportsman to be in good shape and condition. One of the essential components of that is through a body massage. KTN caught up with Team Kenya's physiotherapist Victor Kariakim, who has greatly contributed to the team's top performance.
These soft tissue manipulations that's normally done for sportsmen and women. In fact, the main aim for it is to try to flush out the lactic acid.
And he explains how each drill impacts differently on the sportsmen depending on their size and physique.
Like today, maybe you do many kilometers, you find that the following day you feel some pain. That's the lactic acid. So when we do like this, we flush it back, and also we check on the athletes. This part, one part, but on the other side, we also try to see some injuries they have sustained, those micro injuries that you cannot see with your eyes. And also we do manipulations, also to align the joints, and also to like those who are tall. You find that some of their muscles, they try to tighten, so we try to loosen them out.
There are many liquids that can be used for the exercise, such as glycerin, but he prefers liquid paraffin.
We have like a glycerin, which is used, but you find it's a bit thick, so you find that the friction is high. And we have other liniments, but now we don't use liniments because most of them have chemicals, like drugs, that if you use the whole body of an athlete, you end up like giving an overdose of that drug.
So next time you see your favorite athlete winning, just know that there was a force behind it. Victor Ogale, KTN Moscow in Russia.
I'm Ann Kiguta. Good night.